Welcome back, everybody, to #AskBRP. My name is Seth. I am the host of the show. I am confined today to the back office because some business going on up front, but that's okay. We will make the video no matter what. So here we are in the back office. The camera's not great, the color's not great, but we'll get through it. So today I want to review a Rolex GMT-Master. You can see there on the camera. More specifically, this is a two-tone GMT, as you can see with the stainless steel and yellow gold, and it has the ceramic black bezel around the dial, which is the more recent of the models. So let's get into the review. So as I was just describing the bezel, that's really the first thing I notice when I look at the watch. It's large, it's in charge, but it actually serves a real function. I'm going to get into the functionality of the watch later, but that is the first thing that I notice, especially that the outside is kind of fluted, so when you move it in the light, it actually kind of sparkles, almost like if there were diamonds around it, which I think is very cool. You can also see that it has 24-hour markings. And this camera it's showing in reverse because it's like a FaceTime sort of camera, but this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, all the way to 24. And I'll get into what that means in just a second. But I think the bezel really makes this watch pop and really brings the watch together. So another thing I notice on this watch, which a lot of two-tone watches struggle to do, is that the balance of yellow gold to stainless steel, in my mind, is perfect. There's not too much yellow, there's not too much steel. I actually think it's like a total perfect balance. And the idea behind a two-tone watch is that you can put it on with a suit, you can put it on with jeans and a t-shirt, go to the beach. You can pretty much wear it anywhere because the gold obviously makes it a bit more fancy, the stainless steel makes it a little bit more sporty, and I think Rolex designed this watch perfectly to be worn under the cuff of your suit or with a t-shirt. So the last thing I notice about this watch, which unless you're a Rolex connoisseur, it might not even occur to you, but if you look closely at the dial, the markers, like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, those dots and those squares in that triangle, it's called a maxi dial. On this watch, compared to the previous model, the markers on the dial are a lot larger. And you might be thinking, what does that actually do? But it gives the watch a much bigger look when you're looking at it. So this is a 40 millimeter watch. And this Rolex Milgauss is also 40 millimeters, but does not have a maxi dial. And just from looking, they're both 40 millimeters, but this one stands out and looks a lot bigger. It's due to the large bezel, but it also is due to the maxi dial. It's kind of something you wouldn't notice, but really does make a big difference. So the GMT Master is actually more than just a pretty watch. It has a very valuable function. It can tell multiple times at the same time. So let's say you're a pilot or someone who travels often for business. This can be very useful. Instead of having to take your watch off and set it in the new time zone every single time you get to a new city, this watch actually has an extra hand. If you look closely, you see this green hand here. That's considered the home time hand. And it still has the other two, the normal classic hour hand and minute hand and second hand. But what this extra hand is the home time hand. So it goes around the dial. It takes 24 hours rather than 12 hours. So you would set that according to the bezel, as I mentioned earlier, which has 24-hour markings. So let's say it's 8 in the morning. You would set that green time to the number 8. And then that's your home time. And then when you get on the plane and you get off, the smaller hour hand will be your local time. And it's very easy to adjust. You just unscrew the crown and turn it a couple times and you're there. And unlike most watches, the small hour hand will adjust, I'll show you, separately from the minute hand. Let me show you that. So if you go around like this, it's very easy to change the time. It takes 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And what's really cool about this watch is not only does it tell 2 time zones at the same time, by rotating the bezel, you can actually tell 3 time zones at the same time. Most GMT watches only can show 2 time zones, while the Rolex GMT can tell 3 time zones. So that's it for today's episode. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about the GMT, the way it looks, and more importantly, the functionality of it. Please remember to follow me on Instagram at Boca Raton Pawn. We put up all our products, cool pictures. We got a new lens for the camera, so it's really looking awesome. Like us on Facebook. You can see all of our blog posts there. That's facebook.com/Boca Pawn Shop. And then you can see us behind the scenes a little bit on Snapchat. Our handle is BRP Luxury. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.